Hello, today we are going to talk about what to do after you finish compiling correctly using kdesrc-build a Git repository. In our case, we have built kget. Kget is a download manager, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP. So kdesrc-build kget. I have run this. I have built 80 Git repositories. Kget has built successfully, so compiling succeeded, installation succeeded. What's next? Well, next would be to try to open this thing in an IDE and do everything that an IDE affords and allows to do. For the IDE, we're using Qt Creator, which I've downloaded from the website of Qt. So for that, we go to the source directory of the Git repository for kget, which is home /kdesrc network kget. I copy this thing, Ctrl C, file, open file or project, Ctrl V, and then we select the cmakelists.txt. I press enter. Now the source code is loaded correctly, cmake was read correctly, and we can see the cmake targets. The next step is to actually use the build directory, which is done in the switch to projects mode Ctrl 5. So this thing, we go manage kits, delete any kits that are not default desktop, apply OK. Manage kits, where are you? Import existing build, I paste again the source directory, and now I'm going to open the build directory, which is tilde/kd/build network/kget, which is the directory where cmake has built, has configured, and then run make to build the software. Okay, we just select this directory, nothing else in there. Okay, and now the IDE, which is Qt Creator, has seen the way cmake was run in this build directory, has run cmake again, says everything's okay, required packages have been found, recommended packages have been found, optional packages have been found. What has not been found is a recommended package libmms. Okay, this is recommended, not mandatory, so it built successfully. Not required. Okay, not a required cmake file. So the step of configuring has run successfully. Now we need to see if we can debug and run the application. For that, we click on, so we're on the Ctrl 5 projects mode. We select our kit, which is Qt 5.15.5, so not the desktop one. We're automatically put on the build tab and on the debug 2 build configuration. So debug 2 is correct. And now we go to the run tab to select the what cmake configuration to use when running. So we're going with kget, which is the actual executable. That's the installed on the system when you make install. Okay, and now we go build. Okay, so it says build 100%, no build warnings, no build errors because I'm building with GCC. So it says that I'm building with GCC somewhere in here. I don't know where. In here, so it says the C compiler is the GCC from the system, so /usr/bin/gcc. The C++ compiler is /usr/bin/g++. The debugger is usr local bin gdb. Okay. Next, let's run the kget executable binary, which was created in the build directory. So it says starting tilde kde/build/network/kget/bin/kget. And it's minimized to the system tray. Restore. And now we can see its user interface. So let's make sure it's built by us. So it should use Qt 5.15.5. Yes. Then we can Ctrl-Shift-D, create a new tab in console, ls off, and then grep for kget. Okay, so lib kget core from tilde/kd/build. The KDE Frameworks 5 from tilde/kd/usr. tilde/kd/usr/plugins kget. And the executable from tilde/kd/build/network/kget/bin/kget. So some of the files come from the system, the files which are not Qt nor KDE. The files which are Qt or KDE come from where make install puts them, from kdesrc-build, which is tilde/kd/usr. And some things come from the tilde/kd/build directory, which is because Qt Creator executes cmake in order to do configure step, and then make to build. The software does not run make install. So Qt Creator, when you press the run button, it doesn't do make install, just make. Okay, so we have run the correct executable. Let's close this. Let's make sure it's not in the system tray. Quit. Yes. Okay, now let's try to debug. So editor, kget, these are the cmake targets. Source files, main.cpp. Let's find the entry point, which is the main function, free function from main.cpp. I've put breakpoints in here. Let's run the debugger. Okay, I'm in the debugger. I can go as deep as I want. F11 for eternity. I'm seeing the C++ cpp files from the Qt framework. Shift F11 to return. Okay. This is Plasma integration. Shift F11. Main.mock. from Plasma integration. Okay, let's go F5 to jump to the next breakpoint. Okay, so we're at I internationalization function F11. So it's actually a what? A function, a free function. Okay, so the debugger works as we can't request more things from the debugger. We can inspect the values of local variables, of object members. We can see the call stack. We can see the threads. We can do the usual stop, start, F5, go to the next breakpoint, so continue, step over, step into, and step out. Okay, so we have the debugger. We can understand the code, the source code, by running it inside of the debugger to see what each and every function and C++ macro does. Okay. The next thing to do is to run PVS-Studio. Let's do that on this project. F4, I have a script for this. So it's the last two particles are network and kget. Let's copy those. Ctrl R to replace. Ctrl V, replace all. Ctrl A, Ctrl C. Let's close the project in Qt Creator. Okay. Ctrl Shift T to get a fresh console tab. Ctrl Shift V to paste. And then let's run this thing. So the script looks like this. It's the exact same script, the exact same lines that are run by kdesrc-build, but I've replaced build with build minus PVS. So this is what kdesrc-build does when I say kdesrc-build space kget space minus no-src space minus no minus include minus dependencies space minus debug. It lists all of the commands that kdesrc-build runs, and these are these commands. Okay, then it exports some environment variables. This is the configure step. And then there's make -jnproc, which needs to be enveloped in PVS-Studio Analyzer trace. And then two command lines from PVS-Studio Analyzer to actually analyze. So generate a pvs-studio.log file, and then to convert this file in the format task list with name report.tasks, which can be opened in Qt Creator. Okay, so PVS-Studio is slower than GCC, G++, or clang++, slower than the compilers. Really important to make sure that you tell PVS-Studio to use as many CPU cores as you have. Okay, so it says it has found 487 issues. Out of those, we're ignoring the issues V567, V1042, V1050, 1053 and v1044, and we're left with just 60 PVS-Studio build warnings. Okay, now let's open in Qt Creator. Let's eventually restart Qt Creator. Okay, and we do the same dance again. File, open file or project, Ctrl V, cmake lists, Ctrl F5, build projects mode, manage kits, remove, okay, import existing build, and then the build directory is this one. Ctrl C, just paste the directory. Everything's okay, and now we need one more step, which is to open the file with the report. Report.tasks. We select this thing, press enter on it, and now we have 60 issues in the issues view. Okay, so search results, application output, compile output, QML, debugger, console, general messages, version control, test results, and Alt1 is issues. So let's look at the issues. Some are more important than others. Okay, let me see on which branch I am right now. So I'm on the branch master. Immediately I see a bug, which is the file compile_commands.json, which is created automatically by kdesrc-build, is not git ignored. Okay, so I've proposed that we git ignore that file in this merge request. Okay, what else can we have? So those mock_v1037 two or more case branches perform the same actions are not that actionable, because mock_files are generated by code generators before the C++ compiler actually runs. So automock in our case. And it says that 289, so this line, 296, this line, and 310, this line, are exactly identical. So case 17, case 19 do the exact same thing. Which is in fact true, yes, they do the same thing. Okay, not actionable for me. So the difference between 17 and 18 is that 17 is KIO job pointer, and 18 is just job pointer, which is, I'm guessing, the exact same thing, because it's the same kjob from kcorridors. Maybe the problem is that this thing is not fully qualified in the mock file, the UI file. Okay, what else? Not all members of a class are initialized inside the constructor. So you should prefer to initialize during the constructor using this syntax, the colon, not inside the body of the constructor. So it says m simultaneous files is not initialized at all. Is that true? Probably so. And am simultaneous files are protected integer member variables. So these three should be 0 in here. Control tab to go back. Yes. So we should create a, in my opinion, a git commit with this and suggest a merge request. So a merge request should contain just one git commit, and one git commit should contain just one change line. Okay, next. So this is marked as a warning, whereas this other one is marked as an error. Not all members of the class are initialized inside the constructor. Use search engines. Not sure why it's an error right now, and in that other file the same v730 error is marked as a warning. Okay. It is possible a virtual function was overridden incorrectly. See third argument of function data changed in derived class file view and base class QAbstract item view. So the third argument, QAbstract item view. Okay, where? Data changed. So data changed has a third parameter, roles. Whereas this has just two parameters, top left and bottom right. This thing should really be inspected. So it's both an error in from clangd, which is the language server for C++ used by Qt Creator, and in PVS-Studio. So it doesn't overload, but it hides, and different signatures. This smells like a needed git commit. Okay, mock files again with v1037 or more case branches. Perform the same actions. Let's ignore those. Bit set. The assigned operator should be protected for the case this equals to reference PS. What is that? I have no clue. Right click on this and get help online. Okay, let's go there. Okay, the assignment operator should be protected from the case. I don't know, so for each and every type of warning you need to invest at least 1 hour to really decipher what the problem really is. But then once you know some of the common issues, you can fix that common issue 2 times in this project, in this Git repository, and then try to find that issue in other Git repositories. You'll find them in abundance. There's tens of thousands of PVS-Studio warnings in the 400 Git repositories from the KDE community. Okay. A part of conditional expression is always true, start not -1. Why is not -1? Because what? because if first is -1, then it returns. If end, which is the second, is -1, then it returns. So this if is not needed, should be deleted, git commit merge request. Like this. Okay. Let's undo that thing. Or you can see in here a ton of new lines. Why have more than one new line? So delete 2, git commit, merge request. Okay. Unreadable code, unreachable code detected. After a return, you can do anything. So it should comment this part out. Git commit, merge request. Or not. Okay. Abort is always true because we don't know that it's always true, because this might be written to in another place, such as in the destructor. Maybe the destructor was called while this while runs. Okay, so not all build warnings are okay. Some are not okay. Okay, cppcheck is another option. We have tools. Where are you? Help, plugins. You enable cppcheck, this thing, and then it says restart required, and it will run cppcheck on the entire Git repository. Close all. So that would be cppcheck, and then select keep the defaults. And fix some issues found by this static analysis tool, which is cppcheck. It says, why don't you pass by const reference pattern syntaxes, which is this thing. Why not const qlist int reference? Who knows? Why not? Maybe to keep the API stable, if this is a library used by something else, probably some other KDE Git repository. Again, you need to invest at least 1 hour to find out if this thing needs to be, or is okay if you pass this thing as a const reference instead of a const. Yeah, so cppcheck likes to suggest that you replace for each plus if with std any of etc. And it doesn't offer a fix. Instead of a row loop, to use std any of. Okay. What any other issues do we have? So we can build kget, kdesrc-build, kget, -no-src, -no-include-dependencies, and debug. Okay. So didn't really do much because the build directory exists and it has compiled using the same C++ compiler, which is GCC. But what happens if we build with the other C++ compiler, which is clang++? How do we do that? No. CXX. This thing. Okay, and also delete the build directory. So build network kget. Delete. Okay. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, so compiling with GCC found 0 compiler warnings, whereas compiling with clang++ has found 100 build warnings. See if you can fix one of these warnings, create a git commit merge request. Three warnings generated. Not 3, but more than 100. Okay, how do we look at the logs? I don't know. Let's see if we can find those. So either we go right click, where are you? Edit, select all, edit, copy, and then paste in a kit. And it's more build warnings that there is space for in the scroll back buffer in key console. So I don't know, let's, can't we capture this thing like this? Oh, I deleted the wrong directory. Okay. So let's delete the no-src. So there's still the /kd/build /network/kget, which is the build directory, and tilde/kd/src/network/kget, which is the git clone directory. Okay, let's look at the file. How does it look like? Okay, so all of the warnings are in here. How do we reload? Okay, let's search for warning. Warning colon space. So it says use qmultimap for maps storing multiple values with the same key. Insert multi is deprecated. So you can, for instance, build the entire kdesrc. So just the command line would be c++ clang++ then like this. So kdesrc-build, no parameters, no name of a module or module set to build, --debug, and then pipe everything to a text file, and then you'll see this build warning: insert multi is deprecated 10 times in different Git repositories. You invest 1 hour to find out how to fix this issue, and then do for each Git repository a git commit and a merge request to fix the issues everywhere. Dual network config manager is deprecated. What should we use instead? No. Well, this has a million of appearances in here, in kget. Restart is deprecated from QElapsed timer. Use QElapsed timer instead. Okay, so that was it. That was after you successfully build a module using kdesrc-build. What are the next steps to create as many Git commits as possible, as many merge requests as possible to advance the state of the kdesrc Git repositories? Thank you.